Jack Black. People hate Jack Black now? Uh-oh.
Jack Black is a national treasure. We must protect him.
Yeah,
at
people
all
always
costs.
like Jack Black.
Comments such as this were normal just 1 year ago, but after a string of unexpected controversy, he's not only losing thousands of followers, but every Jack Black comment section is flooded with negativity.
Not cool,
Compare
Jack.
this to only 11 months ago, when we listed Jack Black among celebrities who have basically zero haters. There was nothing controversial about him. In a Reddit thread asking about the most beloved celebrities, one of the top comments was Jack Black. He's just such a lovable guy, how could you not like him? He never took life too seriously, always trolling the paparazzi and acting like a fool for the public's entertainment. By starting his own YouTube channel, Jack Black showed that actors are still just normal people.
Hey, what's up? It's me, Jack Black. This is my new YouTube channel, Jablinski.
Giving him a relatable edge that made his fans adore him. So when he'd face his first controversy roughly 2 years ago, his audience was generally forgiving. Jack Black had shown his support for a charity named Autism Speaks.
This is bad? This doesn't seem bad.
Articles explained in 2013 he hosted an Autism Speaks benefit, and in 2015 performed at the Lighted Up Blue Autism Speaks fundraiser. In 2018 he'd promote the charity via Twitter, perhaps ignoring it being extremely controversial. Autism Speaks hates autistic people. For over a decade, Autism Speaks tried to find a cure for autism. They treated autism like it was some type of disease that could be cured. People
Yeah, am I taking crazy pills? Where do these fucking retards come from, man? This is like people getting mad at Mr. Beast because he was helping people hear again, and it was erasing deaf culture. This is so astonishingly stupid, I can't even believe it. How is this possible? I can't, I almost don't even believe this is true.
Therefore complained on Twitter. Friendly reminder that while Jack Black is currently trending, he has donated to ableist and eugenicist organizations like Autism Speaks and Next for Autism that focus on fixing and curing autism, a neurological condition. He has also attended Autism Speaks galas.
So what's wrong with this? That's eugenics if you don't want people to be autistic? Ableist, so is everybody like, what? What the fuck? How could you be this stupid? This is so stupid. I can't believe it.
Yet his audience gave him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe Jack didn't know it was a bad company.
Oh my
was just trying to do something good and got duped. Just playing devil's advocate. What if he's unaware of the problematic issues? Jack Black.
Well, you need to educate yourself on autism. This is the second wild take on it you've had in a couple of days. Wait, autism is not fixable. It's literally just different brain wiring. So you think there's no way for people to fix it? There's no way for you to rewire people's brains at all? I wonder if that's going to be true in 100 years. Here, let me ask you a question. Do you think that's going to be true in 200 years? It's not 200. Okay. Okay. Uh-huh. Right. So why research and why try to investigate into a topic? Why do that? Why should you possibly do that? No critical thinking? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you just don't even try. Crazy. Well, there it is.
Seems like a decent person. This explains why he'd also give political opinions, but with his comments...
Big mistake. Big mistake. Huge mistake. There we go.
Now reading, never get political, it always ends wrong. This had become a primary reason for the fall of his reputation. Now, Jack Black has always been...
people don't want to hear politics from celebrities most of the time. Like, they don't. Like, people get mad at me for talking about politics. They get mad at him. They get mad at fucking Selena Gomez. They get mad at XQC. They get mad at Aiden Ross. They get mad at everybody. People don't want to hear politics from people that do entertainment, right? You condition us. Well, there's like I've changed my content over the years in different ways, right? And so it's going to be different. But there are people that don't want that. They want something else. That's always is. That's always what it is.
politically outspoken, but would make his arguments subtle and funny in the classic Jack Black style. For example, in 2017, Tenacious D performed This Government Totally Sucks, in which they joke about Benjamin Franklin getting naked and smoking weed. Similarly, in 2020, Jack Black made his own commercial, stating it's time to be a hero with a mask. Not this kind, but this kind, before jumping headfirst into his pool. Videos like that were pretty smooth and inoffensive. However, by 2023,
it's also that nobody could criticize videos like that. It's very important to keep in mind that during the COVID era, it's not like you were able to have an opinion that this was bad. So it's easy to say nobody criticized it. Well, yeah, no shit, because if they did, they'd get banned. Did bro just waterboard? That's what I was thinking too. But yeah.
Political opinions were less about the comedy and significantly more direct. For example, he'd give his opinion on the Israel-Palestine war, for which he was heavily criticized to the extent that people called for a Kung Fu Panda boycott. When he shared an image reading,
that's so fucking ridiculous. I'm sorry.
For which he was heavily criticized to the
Remember, he supports Zionist propaganda. Remember, the only ones killing civilians in Palestine are Israel itself. Yeah, people are really, really mad about that too. It's performative. Yeah, and this is why a lot of people don't want to get involved in politics in general. Read what he wrote. Let me read what he wrote. Give me a second. My dad's calling me. Hello? Here, go on speaker. You're on speaker.
Okay, rewiring the brain to treat autism is a proven therapy for dealing with autism. And it can be done through behavioral reinforcement, and it can also be done with drugs. And so just a heads up on that. And people who can't walk, they learn to rewire mechanical hands. Most of the brain is not used, and there's all sorts of ways that all sorts of treatments for a wide variety of maladies or problems that are treated by specifically rewiring the brain. It's a long known technique. In fact, a lot of people would say behaviorism, Skinnerian or behavioral reinforcement it rewires the brain too. If it's kept up and it changes the behavior, it causes a change or rewiring in the brain. Just a heads up.
Good to know.
Agree in this shit.
Yep, good to know. All right, I'll talk to you later.
Yo.
All right, yo, bye. Wow, what a surprise. What a surprise. Obviously, fucking obviously. Okay, anyway, let's read what he said. Did he say anything that was like crazy bad? It's absolutely reasonable and logical to be opposed to the Israeli government of Palestinians while simultaneously calling for the protection of Jews in Israel around the world. Hamas is a terrorist organization that is attacking civilians by land, air, and sea. The images of kidnapped Israelis are shocking and devastating. Given the thousands of years of persecution of Jews, know that your Jewish friends, even if you're not in Israel, are hurting and are fearful when things like this happen, and non-Jews are silent. I understand many of us are afraid to voice an opinion because the crisis is so nuanced and hard to understand, and we are afraid to say the wrong thing, but we can and must always use our voices to denounce terrorism and the senseless murder of civilians. I'm going to be honest, I think he's right. I do. I agree with him. I think most normal people agree with him.
His opinion on the Israel-Palestine war, for which he was heavily criticized to the extent that people called for a Kung Fu Panda boycott. When he shared an image reading, "Climate change is a human rights crisis," the comments again weren't too positive. Goodbye, Jack, you lost me there. Nobody needs you to guide them politically. You're a professional court jester. That's why we watch you. OMG, LMFAO.
I don't think that it's a problem. Like, for example, I mean, there's a lot of politicians, or sorry, not politicians, the opposite. There's a lot of comedians that talk about politics and people respect them. Like, for example, George Carlin or Dave Chappelle. So I don't even think that's a bad thing. It's just that he's doing it in a way that people feel like is dishonest or annoying. Joe Rogan. Yeah, remember that guy?
Jack Black, you've gone down the gutter. In the meantime, about half of his Twitter became political retweets.
Yep, here we go.
In June 2024,
here
when
we go.
Jack Black endorsed the president.
A few days ago, my manager called me and said George Clooney and Julia Roberts wanted me to help out the president, and I said, I am in. When and where?
He proudly reposted the video to his Twitter, but with almost as many replies as the post had likes.
Well, this is the point where, like, I mean, at this point, everybody knew that Joe Biden was a corpse. So, yeah, big surprise. People were annoyed to hear this because it's like, oh, good. Now we have somebody else that's part of this collective lie that this guy who is just like, let me be clear on one thing. Like, I mean, what the fuck are we doing? What is this?
Safe to say his message didn't land so smoothly. Yeah. Love your work, I just wish you didn't endorse anyone. Hollywood needs to stay out of politics.
Yeah, people are tired of hearing about it.
You're part of a lot of people's childhood laughs. Now you're just a deadbeat sellout. What a shame.
I don't think he's a sellout. I think that he's just talking, like, the thing is that there's a reason why a lot of jobs don't ask people not to bring politics into work, man. It's a super common thing. So you shouldn't be surprised by this at all. I think this is always how it is.
He alienated your fan base.
I'm sure these people partially believe it.
Although these were the more polite replies as they only got worse.
Yeah, I bet they did.
Over 15,000 people supported a response reading, add Jack Black to the list of pedo-wood elites.
Jesus Christ. People are really going in there.
Post if you aren't surprised.
He alienated
Numerous
both
other
political
memes pushed
spectrums?
similar allegations, with another person straight up stating, here's an awesome tip. Stay away from the pedophile at Jack Black.
I think this is total bullshit, and I don't think people should be saying this about him. This is completely wrong. Like, although I think Jack Black is kind of an idiot for supporting this stuff, this is totally a fucking, like, out of pocket, unreasonable. This is crazy. Shouldn't be saying this shit about people.
Because he endorsed
this is just the same thing as calling people Nazis. It's just a different flavor. It's so annoying. I hate this.
Presidential candidate. A different fan expressed, I'm so beyond saddened by this political shilling.
Yeah.
The word disappointing isn't strong enough. And I just attended one of your recent Houston shows. Well, never again, Jack.
Damn.
And in a poll asking, have you lost all respect for at Jack Black?
900 votes.
85% responded with yes.
I
The
wouldn't
poll
really
was
think a lot
likely
about
somewhat biased, but still for the first time ever, Jack Black was losing followers.
Yeah.
However, this likely wasn't a massive concern as he was busy with something else completely.
Yeah, sure.
Tenacious D, Jack Black's band, had been traveling the world on their spicy meatball tour. They'd been through North America, all across Europe, and had landed in Australia just 24 days after Jack's presidential
This was a big
controversy.
day.
They scheduled their second show in Sydney for bandmate Kyle Gass's birthday, celebrating on Instagram before the show started. This continued into the band's performance. Which would lead to the following interaction.
This was a bad day.
Don't miss Trump next time.
Mixed feedback immediately rolled in. Some people said
This is right after the attempted assassination of Trump.
that they're a comedy band that make dark jokes. It was a joke, they make jokes. JB and KG.
I don't think you can say they're making jokes if they're only making jokes about one group of people. Like, I feel like that's kind of the issue, is that the reason why people like Dave Chappelle get away with it is because he makes jokes about all groups of people, and it's okay. Same as South Park. But, like, the issue is that when you only make jokes about one group of people, then everybody's going to think that you're that person. You're like that, right? I mean, of course. And so, like, including themselves. Yeah, exactly. It's not comedy. Yeah, it's freedom of speech, bro. Well, I don't think they should go to jail. I don't think they should go to jail for that. Like, that's not it. I think it's distasteful to say to shoot the president. I do. I don't like it. I think it's bad. And so if people might not like that, I think that's fair. Like, that's it. Yeah, I mean, you obviously people are going to have opinions about things, but yeah, freedom of speech, you're not allowed to dislike them. Yeah, of course. You're correct. All successful comedians generally joke about both sides and not just one. Yeah, or they joke about a group that they're a part of, right? So like Gabriel Iglesias, he makes a bunch of fat jokes. Well, yeah, it's okay because he's fat, right? Like there's like an implicit understanding that it's okay to make jokes about the group of people that you're a part of, right? That's always how it's been. And so it's a fucking joke. Yeah, that's always how it's been. And if you're going to make jokes about like one group of people, you've got to make jokes about the other group, or it's going to be seen, yeah, it's making a direct call of violence. No, and I understand that, like, it's definitely something bad to say. But like my viewpoint on this was like, I don't think like you should say that publicly. I think that advocating for like killing an elected official is like really bad. And I don't think anybody should be pushing for that. I've had tons of people that I know privately tell me the exact same thing. And like, I'm like, okay, yeah, for sure, right? Because this is just a person's opinion. But whenever you vocalize that opinion on a public stage, right? And you put that out there, then it's totally different. And of course, you're going to have people that are frustrated about that. Of course. But of course, you have people that think that. Yeah, sure.
They're good human beings with good intent, whilst others plainly stated, sorry, Jack, but I'm out.
Yeah.
One senator tweeted,
I mean, you can't joke about shooting somebody and killing them and say that you're a good human being with good intent. I'm sorry, you just can't really do that.
no place in Australia
like
for those who wish for the assassination of others, demanding that Tenacious D must be deported immediately. As a result, Kyle Gass apologised, writing the line I improvised on stage Sunday night in Sydney was highly inappropriate, dangerous, and a terrible mistake. I don't condone violence of any kind, in any form against anyone. What happened was a tragedy, and I'm incredibly sorry for my severe lack of judgment. I profoundly apologise to those I've let down, and truly regret any pain I've caused. Jack Black...
I feel like that's as fair of an apology as you could get. I mean, like, he's not blaming anybody. He's just taking accountability. He says, my bad, I'm wrong. That's a good apology. Yeah. Like, if you don't let people apologize, then they never will. That's my viewpoint.
Added I was blindsided by what was said at the show on Sunday. I would never condone hate speech or encourage political violence in any form, but after rewatching the clip, people didn't buy it.
Yeah, he's
Black
laughing.
was blindsided. He laughs when Kyle says it.
No, so I've had friends of mine say that to me, and I've laughed at it too. I did the exact same thing because, like, I don't want to have a political showdown with this person right now. I'm like, yeah, sure, right? And I make bad off-color political jokes they probably don't agree with, and they'll laugh at it too. Yeah, it's dark humor, exactly. No, really, I mean, I don't know. I think I do that all the time. Yeah, I'm just being honest, right? I mean, I know people might not want to admit that or whatever, but yeah, it's just like, okay, like, it's like you're laughing. It's like, oh my God, okay, here you go again, right? And so I don't really think it. Yeah, he laughs, so he's guilty. Maybe he thinks it, maybe he doesn't. I don't know. But like, all I'm saying is that, again, like, what you do in public is different than what you do in a private space, right? That's totally different. So yeah, I mean, of course. But I'm just saying that, like, specifically, that's it. You called JD couch fucker today? People have short me. Yeah, of course. I'm always fucking around. Yeah, that's fine. And so it's called nervous laughter for a reason. Well, it depends, right? It's breaking tension, laughing in disbelief. You can look at it 50 different ways. But either way, I think that, like, yeah, it's definitely, like, I think that Kyle's the one in the wrong here because he put Jack Black in a really bad position. And, like, because obviously, like, Jack Black is way more well-known and famous than Kyle, right? And, like, if you're going to use this, like, I mean, Tenacious D is Tenacious D because of Jack Black, not Kyle Gass. I mean, I'm sorry, but, like, that's just the reality. Everybody knows it. If you're going to put your friend in that position, I think that you're being a really bad friend. I think you are. And I think it's selfish for you to do that, especially on stage with that person. It's extremely selfish. I think Kyle was being a piece of shit by doing that. And this is also, like, completely stepping away from the idea of whether it was good or not. doing that, knowing what that will cause, and doing it anyway, big mistake. It was probably Jack's idea. That's a good point that you're bringing up, too, is that he could have been okay with it. They could have talked about it beforehand. That's a good point. I feel like I don't, maybe that happened, maybe it didn't. But I don't think we can, the way, because Jack Black cut him off completely after that, I kind of assumed that didn't happen.
Doesn't condone that kind of speech, but you see him laughing when the comment is made. Jack's apology continued. After much reflection, I no longer feel it is appropriate to continue the Tenacious D tour, and all future creative plans are on hold. I am grateful to the fans.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't sound like somebody who planned it out with him, right? It just doesn't.
For their support and understanding. He'd stated in an interview 3 weeks later, "We need to take a break. Everybody needs a break sometime and we'll be back." But it was already too late.
Yeah.
Even those people who didn't mind the joke were disappointed by Jack's lack of support for his bandmate. Your friend of over 30 years says one bad throwaway joke that gets an overreaction. Like,
I think that there's a good chance that they could have discussed it off camera. And like, if I was Jack Black and I told that to my friend and my friend tried to like make me feel stupid or feel like I was being unreasonable or like not understand what the problem was, I would stop working with them because it's a lack of respect. Like basically it's like you put me in this problem and you won't even acknowledge it and take accountability for it. Like, wouldn't you do the same thing? Seems very unlikely. Really? I don't know. Like, I feel like that's a really likely possibility. Yeah, I really think it is. Because, like, how many of you guys have had somebody, like basically somebody who's displacing blame and, like, yeah, why you, fuck me, yeah, you didn't take responsibility, etc. He apologized for his impromptu? Yeah, exactly. Even so, I'm backing my friend? I wouldn't always do that, because if they were your friend, they wouldn't put you in the position in some cases to have to back them on saying things that could make you look really bad. Like, friendship is a two-way street. He said it was improvised, though? Yeah, exactly. And it's easy to say that whenever it's not your reputation on the line. So I can actually see where Jack Black is coming from in a big way. I think the problem is that he played both sides too much. You can't play both sides too much and not get a bunch of people that hate you.
Have at least a bit of backbone and stick up for your friends. A different person said, "The weird thing with cancelling the Tenacious D tour over a bad Trump joke tells me, yeah, dude cares more about money above all else now and will throw friends under the bus to maintain cash flow."
Do you guys kind of agree with me or like see where I'm coming from? Where like I bet they probably talked with this and like had a discussion about this off camera, and the result of the discussion was what this was. Of course, they're adults. Yeah, they probably talked about this, and we don't know. We don't know. But I am assuming. I'm fan fictioning. I'm headcanoning here. But I've had, unfortunately, situations like this in the past. And if somebody did to me what Kyle did to me, and they didn't take accountability for it privately and apologize, I would say, fuck you, I don't want to deal with you. I don't want to deal with this. This is nope.
Public no longer gave him the benefit of the doubt.
Jack Black is the ultimate sellout clown.
Which began to impact his future movies. I remember a time when seeing Jack Black in a movie excited me. Now I skip it completely. Borderlands got 10% on Rotten Tomatoes and has been considered one of 2024's worst movies. On the Dear Santa trailer, people criticized Jack Black just jumping on every movie these days, and nothing showed this better than his casting as Steve. There are many reasons why Minecraft's trailer has already gained over 1 million dislikes.
That's crazy.
The main one being, according to Forbes, the appearance of Jack Black as Steve, where he simply looks like everyday Jack Black in a blue shirt with his now signature wild hair and grey streaked beard.
Yeah, I think this is another thing that people criticize certain like actors for, is that the actor basically plays themselves or plays the same role in every single character. Which is like kind of odd because I feel like Jack Black voicing Bowser in the Super Mario, I feel like that was really, really, really well received, right? I think a lot of people like that. At least that's what I heard. That's what I read. Yeah.
Absolutely bizarre.
He's basically just playing Jack Black, but in a blue shirt.
Yep.
It looks like he rolled out of bed and they gave him this blue shirt instead. All right, now you're Steve.
He could have said, I am Jack Black, and it would have made zero difference. They gave Jack Black a blue shirt and called it a day. People joke that the director should have instead been cast as Steve, leading Jack Black to respond to the hate.
That would have been really clever if they had done that.
I just think the backlash we're getting is ridiculous, especially from grown men who don't get that this movie isn't just for them. It's for a new generation.
And to be fair to Jack Black, I think that that's true. I think that there were a lot of adult grown men that were shitting on the Minecraft movie that has an average target audience age of 9. I do. I think that there's part of that that's true.
Yet it seems the new generation don't want it either. My son is a Minecraft kid in elementary school. He told me that when they heard it was live action, all of his friends declared it was totally trash. This doesn't even appeal to the target audience. As a result, Jack Black's rapidly losing followers on every social media. He pulled a Dwayne Johnson and became a soulless corporate husk of his former self, who plays the same character in each of the far too many terrible movies he's in.
Damn, that sucks. I feel bad because, like, growing up, you know, like I watched the School of Rock and, you know, all the old Jack Black movies, and they were really good. I always really liked this guy. I thought this guy was great. And, like, that's why, I mean, to be fair, I do kind of, like, I try to see it from his side in this situation. But I think the reality is that a lot of people, I'm going to just say it because a lot of people hope the exact same thing that Kyle did. And if you start saying that, like, you're a Democrat, you're pro-Democrat, you want Joe Biden to win, you are courting the favor of the people that hope that the next one doesn't miss. Abso-fucking-lutely you are. And when you do that, and then you turn around, and then you say, oh no, I'm against this, well, now you're sending mixed messages. And mixed messages confuse retards. And a lot of the movies that he does, like the Minecraft movie, for example, that's made for retards. It's made for kids and retards. And it's the same thing as whatever the one before that was, too. The Borderlands movie, right? Exactly. And I'm just being honest, right? And it's confusing. It's mixed messaging. It's hard for people to understand. So that's what I think. Crazy how one wrong move can cause an entire downfall. It wasn't even a joke he made. Well, it wasn't one wrong move. It was like 4 or 5 things, and that's what the video was about. I think this was the straw that broke the camel's back for sure, but it was because he had courted favor from those people for years. And I think also some of the criticism of him playing himself in the movie, I think, is fair. But yeah, he brought politics into his career. If you bring politics into your career, you're going to have people that will be alienated by it. Like, that's just the way it is. There's the video. Give it a like. That was really good.